Welcome to Monmouth in Focus, a show on county government and the functions of county government. I've always said that county government success hinges on the backs of our municipalities, and their success leads to our success. And today I'm fortunate enough to have one of our larger municipalities, Manalapan Township, in, and the mayor, Jack McAbee. Jack, how you doing?
I'm doing great.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks.
So I know your form of government is a committee form of government, so you have a rotating mayor form there, but I know you've served there a few times now.
I have. So I was appointed in 2013, ran in 13, ran in 14, but I've served as mayor now in 15, 18, and
Great.
again
You
in
have
20.
an extremely well-run town, and I will tell you that I know from being a former mayor that you always try to set goals. And so what are some of the big goals for 2020 for yourself?
Well, we've settled with fair share in our affordable numbers of affordable housing units that have to be built between 2025. We're setting all the background for that, the ordinances in place that allow it to go before our planning boards for approvals and the likes of that. There's always goals that we try to do. Our unions are all up contracts are all up. So we hope to settle the smaller unions. Obviously, our SOA would be smaller than our PBAs, things like that. So what we try to do is, if we can't get them all, we're going to certainly get a bunch of them. And if it doesn't go on, it didn't the last time. They don't always solve the retroactive contracts. There's a lot of mechanics to it, a lot of meetings. You know, the old days of 8% raises and those type of things are long gone. Years ago, there was a 2% cap in place. That's still in place, but there was also an arbitration cap, which this governor has decided not to renew. So it makes for more of an open forum on the negotiations, and it makes it creative from both sides.
It's funny because when you lead government here in both the local and the county, and even in the state, all those components that are behind the scenes people don't see, but ultimately they affect everybody in the outcome. So I know that we've had a lot of partnerships, the county and Manalapan. What are some of the partnerships that you feel that we work very well together on?
Just before my coming on, we went to county dispatch, which is for police, fire, first aid. And of course, there were growing pains.
Absolutely.
And the home rule kicks in, and there's a lot of kickback, and we got to get out of this. We should have never got in it. But I think now, fast forward 7 years, 8 years into it, it's a good program. It's working. Electronics, there's so much involved in that, the technology, that for us to do it in Manalapan is just cost prohibitive. It needs to go to a county level in order to be dispatched.
Sure, and I always went, and obviously I was very supportive of that, and I always told everybody, anytime you change something, you're going to have the growing pains. So, we never discounted that it was just going to be flawless and just continue to be like, continue the same process. But as you said, most towns, they've really now, it's kind of effortless right now, and it's working very well. So as a mayor, and you always look back, and hopefully you'll be there a very long time, because we need you there a very long time. But what are some of your proudest accomplishments that you see and more feel-good stories that you feel that you've helped Manalapan and some residents out about?
Well, one thing I always try to say is it's never about me. It's not about Jack. It's a team effort. So I have the benefit of serving with Susan Cohen, Marianne Music. The three of us have been together, 6 years serving and have known each other much longer. Barry Jacobson and Eric Nelson round that out. Newer guys, both of them in their first terms. And they bring something to the table. All five of us come from different places. We've had a player this year play in the playoffs of the NFL. We have players that are actually playing in the NFL. So I'm proud of that. Major League Baseball is represented. I'm a sports fan. I'm at the Friday night football games watching our guys play. I'm extremely proud anytime the high school calls and needs involvement. So to give you an example, the wrestling team just won state in the fifth. We'll have them into our meetings, because that is Manalapan. This is home to many people. They are the next generation. You say, I hope to be there for a long time. I'm running for re-election in 20. Hopefully I'm successful. I will do my best to get there. The voters certainly have the final word on that. If they think I've done a good job, I'll be back. If they don't, I won't be. And I'm fine with that. I earn that job every day. I am in awe of the fact that I've been trusted with it, and I try to never let anybody down. I'm not a me person. As I said, everything is a team.
It is a team.
And I'm proud of our team.
The good, that's all the positive stuff on government and control. But as you know, there's obstacles that we have to deal with. And what do you see as some of the biggest challenges for yourself and Manalapan this upcoming year. And we have a lot of them. You know, there's three components to a successful government, obviously the municipal, the county, and the state. And I'm trying my best to make sure that we work all together, but we do run into some obstacles there. So what are some of your challenges or obstacles you see coming up?
Well, you know, most of these boil down to money. So I don't know that we have a great relationship with our state all the time. And through different parties, so I'm not trying to be a party guy here. Yep. I'm trying to say that money is a factor. Our Route 33 is being forced to be developed under our affordable housing agreement. I'll be meeting with the DOT on Monday and say, do you have a vision going forward? As there's 4 towns between Exit 8 on the Turnpike and us being the 4th town, what is your overall vision? Because we don't know what the 3 towns in front of us going to Exit 8 are doing. I'm sure they have a vision. You know, is it a 5-year plan to widen that road? Is it a 10-year plan? Where are we? Route 9 is one of the #1 commuting corridors in the nation.
That's a big challenge. That's a big challenge.
And it's not perfect. You can't just keep parking cars like that. There's got to be a better way. Is New Jersey Transit on it? Is New Jersey Transit the future of this, or should there be something different? And we have a transportation council, which is great in town. They work with those problems. I understand if you go in the southern part of Manhattan, you don't use New Jersey Transit, you use Academy, and that's not as good of a system, not as many buses, things like that. So we're trying to work all of those challenges.
That's great, and I know they're difficult, and I know we're going to be closing up here soon, but I know there's one thing that you and I want to touch on personally, and a little initiative that we're going to start, and if we could wrap it up with that, because I think that's a real good feel-good story, and I think it's a real good benefit, and that's and I'll let you kick it off.
Okay, so a couple years ago, you came into a veterans meeting. We talked about a closet. So in other words, people that usually are on some sort of assistance, need food, need that, probably when they go to a job interview aren't dressed the way you and I are dressed today.
They need it.
And a lot of times, at least in the case of men's clothing, I don't know women's as much, but I know the men's side, hopefully the women will be able to bring on board and we'll be able to do the same thing. But you know, a lot of times we're throwing away suits that just don't fit us anymore or whatever. And with that, we could open this closet. So Jim Gray, a former mayor, and then of course a county employee, his wife approached me with this, and that's what made me call you, and you said, let's do it.
Let's do it. And I think you and I are going to be kicking off some initial meetings there, and this is another way we're going to try to get all the other 52 municipalities to buy in and the mayors to buy in. So it's another great initiative, another great position of county and municipalities working together. And that was one of when I was mayor, I kind of missed. We actually didn't have that, and it was really a focal point of myself when I came on this board that I was going to work with each municipality. And this is just another way of having these interviews and getting the word out to show that our partners. So I want to thank you. It was great having you on board here today, and looking forward to working together through the rest of the year and getting a lot of initiatives done. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate everything you and the county do.
Brookdale Community College. Here you will find accessibility to over 60 degree and certification programs both on campus and online. Here you will find a rich community of faculty, student life, and services. Here you will save thousands of dollars through low-cost tuition, financial aid, scholarship, and grants. Here you will reach your education goals.
Welcome to Monmouth in Focus, the show that talks about functions of county government. But I've always said the success of the county really hinges on the success of our municipalities. And today I'm fortunate enough to have one of our largest municipalities in Monmouth County and well-run municipalities in Monmouth County, and the mayor of that town that's led them to that, and that's Mayor John Hornick. John, how you doing?
Great to see you, Tom.
Good to see you. Good to see you. So how long have you been mayor?
Long time, Tom.
Yeah, I know,
Long
I
time.
know. Sometimes when you ask that question, you're like, wow.
I was
believe it.
first elected in 2007. So I was just reelected last November. So I just started my 13th year. So
That's
I've been
great.
I've been mayor for this is my 4th term now.
Yeah, and you run for mayor. So, and I did the same there. So the people want you there.
Yeah. Well, you have to answer to them every 4 years.
Exactly,
And
exactly.
so if you aren't doing a good job, you find out pretty quickly. You know.
So every year, and I know you're a very passionate type guy and set goals. Like, what are some of the goals going in 2020 that you think are something that you really want to dive into in Marlboro?
So we're really big on planning long term, and that was something when we took over in 2007 we didn't see. We saw a lot of previous short-term planning, year-to-year stuff. So when I was first elected in 2007, we set out the mayor's plan for progress, which gave 4-year and long-term goals.
That's great.
And every year we go back to that list and see, are we hitting our goals? Are we staying true to our mission statement? So the goals we've set for the next 4 years are consistent with what we set back in 2007. So they're big picture stuff, keeping our balance sheet clean. I'm really proud we have a AAA bond rating like the county, and we're one and only 27 towns in New Jersey that have that. We're focused on acquiring open space, stopping developers from coming in, and keeping and preserving the quality of life we have in Marlboro. On the flip side, we're attracting quality commercial ratables. We want good restaurants. We want things that people want to come to Marlboro for. And it's really, really
I'll tell
going
you,
in the right direction.
That's amazing. All those goals that you said, you could actually see those goals when you drive through Marlboro.
You've come and eaten with us.
Yes, it really is. And I know that we do a lot together.
Yes.
And some of the things that you feel, that we partner with and maybe that we could continue to partner with, what are some of the things that we...
Well, I think the county's been a great partner to Marlboro in a lot of ways. First of all, we share a bunch of roads.
Absolutely.
And the county
That's
has
big.
roads. It's huge, and you guys maintain the roads. You're responsive when we need to be responsive. When snow comes and plowing is necessary, you take care of your job, so we appreciate that. I think the biggest thing we do together is buy open space together.
Yep.
And that's important because everybody moved to New Jersey, places like Marlboro, places like Homedale, places like Colts Neck, and they want a certain quality of life. They don't want it to become a big city.
That's a good point.
And the way to do that is to buy property and preserve it as open space. So the county's been a great partner with that and us, and we're going to continue to do that. I think since my initial election in 2007, we've taken 220 acres offline. And between us,
That's
we
a
have a
lot.
huge
That's a
project
lot.
still there, the Marlboro
Yes,
State Hospital property.
exactly.
And that's, I know that's in the governor's hand now, and they're supposed to be cleaning that up. But at some point, that's going to be a county park with 411 acres in Marlboro, which
Such a benefit to Marlboro.
It's a benefit for the entire Monmouth County and people in New Jersey. It's a huge, huge deal, and I can't wait to get it done. But we have to be careful because I heard it's haunted.
Yeah, I know. And you hear all these stories, and it should be good. It should be at least good, on Halloween time.
Good charge,
So
actually.
as you've been serving, at the end of the day, there's going to be a day you're going to say, okay, it's enough, time to pass the torch, as I will too. But you have to look at, like, what are some of the proudest moments that you could say, or accomplishments that you could say, you know what, I feel good. I made a statement there, a long-lasting statement there that's going to benefit.
So
the people of
Marlboro had a
Marlboro.
checkered past. It had some very bad people running the government, and we've moved way past that. And you could see it in a couple different ways. We were just ranked the #1 town for families by Family Magazine.
I actually saw that.
And
that's great.
I thought you were going to ask me about that.
Yes,
so
I
thanks
know,
for
I
asking.
know.
But we're really, really proud of that. And if you read the article, it talks about all the things we're doing right. It talks about our recreation services, how we take care of our seniors, where we could eat in town. It lists Cousins and Osteria, both places you've been to. And it's very rewarding to me to be in the town that I grew up in, to see it succeeding so well. The #1 thing I'm most proud of is our AAA bond rating.
Sure.
The last 7 years, we've gotten no comments from accountants that come in and look at our books. And I assure you that was way different back in 2008 when we took over, where the financials of the town were a complete mess. So if when I'm done, I could leave a better operating municipality in all aspects, then I've achieved
Which I'm
my goal.
confident you will.
It's going to be great. The other thing real quick is our school security. With the changing times, we have an armed Marlboro police officer in every single one of our schools.
That's commendable.
And for me, I sleep better at night knowing they're there. One of the biggest fears we have is an active shooting scenario in our communities.
A nightmare.
And the Marlboro Police are excellent. We have a new chief now, Chief Pizzullo, who I know you know.
Yes.
And we are spending a lot of time, effort, and money to make sure that those kids are safe.
So there's those three forms of government: the state, the county, and the municipality. And I've always said, and I think I missed it when I was mayor. I was mayor for 8 years, and I really didn't have that connection with the county. That was one of my main focuses when I came on. I wanted to be that partner with the 53 municipalities. Regardless of what party sits up there in Trenton, yeah, we have challenges.
Right.
And it's just long-term domino effect challenges, but there's some obstacles coming up this upcoming year. What obstacles do you see coming in your town?
Well, there's a couple things. One, the school funding formula is going to negatively impact all in schools in Marlboro and the Freehold regional system, and it's a mistake and it's wrong, and it's got to be that'll have an immediate effect from a budgetary standpoint. The things that worry me the most are the unknowns. We're this coronavirus now, which we're planning on the local level with our OEM, and I know we're coordinating
with the counties,
with the county, and even the governors. We've had calls. The mayors have had calls with him. So these are the things that we don't know how deep and hard they're going to get, but we're planning for that. And then there's always the weather. Where 2014 we had 14 snowstorms in February that cost us $1.4 million to clean up. This year, knock on wood, we've had none so far.
Yes.
So those type of things we anticipate. But what we've realized is we have to be prepared for everything. It didn't used to be that way.
No.
It used to be okay, it's snowing.
It's a norm.
Yeah.
And now you're praying that you're able to save some money by it not snowing, where before you just thought it was a natural. And I agree with you there. And and I know that AAA bond rating for yourself, people look at that and really don't understand the importance of it as much. But all the stuff that we acquire, we usually have to bond for, and that allows a savings to the taxpayers because of your past success.
We estimate
$600,000
$600,000 in taxpayer savings.
Exactly.
Based on our AAA bond rating. And you do more roads, you do more rec facilities. We're just completing a $10 million infrastructure project where we repaired the roads.
And the savings there is
it's huge, but you have to do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you get behind the 8 ball and you don't do the roads one year,
absolutely,
you can never catch up.
I always say, we'll long be gone, but Marlboro will still be here and the county will still be here.
100%.
And we're kind of the same type of people. I'm not a person to kick the can down the road, as I know you're not.
I think you're a better freeholder because you were a mayor.
Absolutely.
I do. I almost think anybody who runs for higher office should have to serve as a mayor of their town.
I agree.
Because then you touch the people, you realize what it is. There's nothing more rewarding than being a mayor. Would you agree?
I agree. I agree. And you get to see the people on a daily basis, and they're all your neighbors.
Yes.
So this was great, and I want to thank you for coming on the show here. I think this is important that people see all the positive things that our municipalities are doing in Marlboro today. You're doing a great job there. Looking forward to working with you in 2020 and continuing on for years to come.
Same for you, Tom. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Thanks, bud. Appreciate it.
Brookdale Community College. Here you will find accessibility to over 60 degree and certification programs both on campus and online. Here you will find a rich community of faculty, student life, and services. Here you will save thousands of dollars through low-cost tuition, financial aid, scholarships, and grants. Here you will reach your education goals.
Welcome to Monmouth in Focus, the program that focuses on county functions. I'm Freeholder Director Tom Marnone. I'm very excited to have my guest, Deputy Director Sue Kiley. Hello, Sue. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Tom?
So I know that we've worked together now for like the last year or so, and it's been great. I have to tell you, you hit the ground running, and we all have our specialties. All five of us have our specialties up there, and you took an initiative that obviously I didn't have too much knowledge of, and I watched you grow this program here, and it's really becoming very exciting, and that's Monmouth Acts.
Correct.
Can you tell me a little bit about it? Tell our
Sure.
residents here, because I think they'll be very excited.
Sure. Monmouth Acts is just terrific. And like you said, just such a great fit for me because I'm able to use my healthcare background and really get involved in this and make a difference. So Monmouth Acts came out of an assessment that the county did because the county wanted to understand what the human needs were of our residents in our county. And that started in 2016. And as a result of that analysis, we created Monmouth Acts. Monmouth Acts was designed to be a private-public partnership so that we are working with all of the shareholders in the county that are delivering services, and they are partnering with our county employees to create a total solution for our residents.
You know, it's amazing because I hear, all these little tidbits about it, and I'm watching it grow and expand to be such a benefit to Monmouth County. We have so many great programs, whether it's Grow Monmouth, Growing in Monmouth, Shared Service, but this was a component that was kind of missing here, and you took it head on, and anytime you take a new program on, there's always challenges and obstacles, but you seem to overcome it. But I know there's like hubs that are created.
Yes. So basically what we did was we broke down the analysis into key areas where we found the greatest needs, and those became hubs, 8 hubs. Each one of those hubs is chaired by a county employee and someone from the private world, so that we're getting feedback and information and creating trust and a working relationship as we go along. Those hubs go basically from cradle to grave. So there's one for infancy and early childhood, there's one for school-age children, there's one for aging, we have one for homelessness,
Wow.
We have one on mental health and addiction, we have one for transportation, and we have one for communication, which is one of our biggest issues, Tom. I got to tell you, when I started, many people said to me, oh, the county doesn't have enough service for us. Wow. That is so wrong. But the problem is that people don't know what's there.
Well, that was my next question to you. Like, where do residents find out about these services?
So now that everyone is part of one big network,
That's important.
everyone knows what's out there. And we use the term no wrong door. So if you can imagine, if you go into a facility that is part of the network for a specific service, they are going to be able to help you with anything that you need within the system. The other thing we have is a website that we're working on. It's monmouthacts.org. And we're trying to build that website with a list of all of the services in the county, contact information, and then we're putting up success stories there, things that we've already
That's
seen
important.
as a result of this program.
That's important. So I know that when you brought these programs in, you streamlined them to bring them in. And does that seem to be working where it's working more fluently?
It is. Well, I'll give you an example. United Way has financial centers, and senior citizens come into those centers, and they help them with things like doing their taxes or understanding the services that are available to them. Well, why reinvent the wheel and put that service into another entity or have the county create a service like that?
So important.
So if we're working together, we're sharing services and we're creating a better system and a better function for the
Well, that's
residents.
amazing because when I first came on the board, that's one of the big initiatives that we looked at is duplication of services. And if you could bring them together, you could probably offer more services.
Exactly
and,
right,
So where do you see it really making a difference? I mean, and I know it's in the early stages, and you work so hard to get it where it is now, but some of the success stories that you've seen where you see the difference, and you know what, that's a good feeling. It makes you work even harder to make this program be even bigger and better.
So I'll give you some good success stories. One is in the early childhood development. We discovered through working with other organizations that care for that population that there are many moms out there that are brand new moms with new babies. They don't know anything about how to take care of a child, and P.S. have other things going on in their lives. You know, they may have a homeless problem. They may be hungry. They may be a single parent. So what we were able to do is get grant money to create a parent advocate position.
Oh, that's great.
And now that advocate is going out and meeting with new moms and helping them to become better parents so that their children get a great first start.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
a great success story. You know, it's amazing because our county, and I'm sure you realize it, and I'm sure you did not realize it because I know I did not when I was mayor of the town that I was in. All the functions that county does, people really do not realize all they are. They just take
Yep.
it for granted. And I think Monmouth County's, I have to believe we're different than others, and I think all of us work so well together. It's a pleasure working with you, and I know, you know, I see that passion, and we all have our passion that we have because we all come from towns that we ran at one time.
Exactly.
So we have initiatives that we want to start here. This program is phenomenal. I can't commend you enough for this. And as one of your colleagues, I will tell you that whatever support you need through this, I'm there for you, and looking forward to continuing working with you for many years. And keep growing this program. It's best for Monmouth County, and I know that the residents of Monmouth County, even though you might not think it, because you don't hear it as, you know, we don't hear it all the time.
Right.
Because when something's real good, you really don't hear about it. It's when it's bad you know about it.
Yeah.
But people so much appreciate it, and you should be so much commended for this.
Thank
so
you.
congratulations. Looking forward to a great 2020. And I'm looking forward for us working and doing great things together.
Great. You know, Monmouth County is at the forefront all the time. You know, you created programs for Grow Monmouth, Made in Monmouth, and now they're expanding them throughout New Jersey. Same thing with Monmouth Acts. This is new and innovative, and Monmouth is doing it for our residents. And the more I get to know about what the county does, I am so
It's
proud to be
amazing.
a part of it.
And
I
we're
really
lucky
am.
we have great staff.
We absolutely do.
You know,
We
from our
absolutely
administrator
do.
on down, everybody just works as a true team.
Yeah.
I tell you, government should work like that everywhere.
I
But as long as it
agree.
works here, that's good enough.
We'll take it, right?
And I thank you very much, and it was always a pleasure.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks.